Hi everybody, it's Stacey from LoveHealth.us, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about The Plant Paradox book by Dr. Stephen Gundry. So once Columbus came over to America, he brought back all sorts of new fruits and vegetables to Europe, and as the Europeans started eating things like corn, they started getting sick because they didn't prepare the grains and the food and the corn properly. The Mesoamericans would do a process called nixtamalization, say that 3 times fast, and it would get rid of the lectins and offending parts of the plant in order to make it more digestible without hurting people. But Europeans got sick and got diseases from eating foods that weren't properly prepared. So that's really what it's about. Dr. Gundry even says that he eats French bread in France and Italy when it's properly prepared there compared to here. One thing that we do is we think that whole grains are better for us, but they're really not. The reason why people take the brown shell off of the rice and the hull off of the wheat is because that's where the lectins are. And white bread was reserved in ancient times for the wealthy, and the brown bread was given to the poor, which is now pretty telling because back then we really knew and had more nutritional wisdom and we knew how to prepare foods properly. He even said that, you can make sourdough bread like the old-fashioned way because fermentation really helps make foods more digestible and palatable to your gut. So lectins are a plant's defense system and can make, a bug paralyzed or very sick when it goes onto it or die when it tries to eat the plant, but it slowly makes us sick and is, like I said before, toxic to the body. So think of like poison ivy or a rose that has thorns. These things have a defense system. So this is just different plants' way of defending itself. Some of the foods on the no list, some of them you're going to be surprised sound like they're healthy or you thought that they were healthy, but according to Dr. Gundry, he says they're full of lectins and are not so healthy. Unless, like I said, a lot of them can be prepared properly, except the grains. He said there's no way to pressure cook them to get the lectins out. So things like pasta, rice, potato chips, potatoes, bread, tortillas, pastry, flours, crackers, peas, corn, chickpeas, soy, tofu, edamame. Any kind of soy should be avoided unless it's properly fermented. All beans, including sprouts and lentils, pumpkin, sunflower, and chia seeds, peanuts, and cashews, which are really not nuts. And a lot of these things are fruits, even like tomatoes, because they have seeds. So we consider them vegetables, but they're really actually fruits, like cucumbers, zucchini, pumpkins, squashes, melons, eggplant, tomatoes, and all sorts of peppers. He also wants you to avoid certain types of dairy, and I'll get into that into a different video. And he wants you to avoid all grains except sorghum and millet. Those grains are lectin free. So rice, like I said, is on the no list, but it can be eaten if it's pressure cooked. But he really doesn't want you to do that until phase 2 or 3 because he wants you to really heal your gut and heal yourself before you start introducing foods with any sorts of lectins in them. There's also oils to be avoided, and any kind of oils that you would find, the traditional oils you find in the supermarket, like corn oil and canola oil, are not good for you. He really wants you to stick to coconut oil and olive oil. He wants you to eat lots of that, but on phase 2 only, which I'll explain in another video. But he really says for phase 1, you want to stick to walnut oil or avocado oil, and there's reasons for that. So these are the types of foods that he doesn't want you to eat, but there's a lot of foods you can eat. So we'll look at the yes list next. So don't panic. There's lots of yummy things on the yes list. Look at these delicious looking cookies. I haven't made this recipe yet, but this is from Dr. Gundry's recipe book. And there's lots of delicious things in here still. And I made so far some pancakes and some muffins, and they were delicious. So what's on the yes list that you can't eat? Lots of good things. Algae oil, I don't know how good that is, but olive oil, coconut oil, macadamia oil, MCT oil, avocado oil, perilla oil. I couldn't find that. Walnut oil was really surprisingly delicious. I've been using that a lot. Red palm oil, etc. There's a few more. There's plenty of sweeteners in there. His favorite is inulin. I've been using the sweet leaf and actually really getting used to it. I was really I'm not really a stevia fan, but this is stevia and inulin, and it tastes pretty good. I like xylitol a lot, but I have my reservations on that, so I'm trying not to use that as much as possible. Macadamia nuts and walnuts and pistachios have been saving my life as far as a little snack. I've been using that as dessert. Pecans, coconuts, hazelnuts, delicious. Hemp seeds, flax seeds are still good. Psyllium and hemp protein powder is still good. Olives, eat all those that you want, but I think he really wants you to wait for phase 2 for that. Long story. Dark chocolate, 72% or greater. There's great organic ones out there that are dark and delicious, so I've been finding those and they're getting me by. Vinegars, anyone that doesn't have added sugar, all sorts of herbs and seasoning except chili pepper flakes. So energy bars, I haven't ordered or tried these yet, but he has a few on there that you can order that will help you have a healthy snack on the go. So there are flours that you can use for baking too. Coconut, almond, hazelnut, sesame, chestnut, cassava, sweet potato flour, etc. Foodles, I haven't tried these either, but these are noodles that are made out of mushrooms or different things that they use to make these noodles out of. Dairy products are okay, but you have to be careful. He wants you to get dairy products from A2 cows, or you could get goat or sheep. And I've been using the Manchego sheep cheese. It's wonderful, and goat cheese to satisfy that part of my taste buds. Buffalo mozzarella, organic sour cream, organic heavy cream, organic cream cheese, but he wants these things eaten in moderation. French cheeses, French and Italian butter, triple cream brie is on the list. Ice creams, coconut milk, dairy-free frozen desserts. There's a lot of those out there. And alcoholic beverages. You can actually have red wine, especially Malbec wine, which has a lot of has higher amounts of resveratrol and polyphenols. Dark spirits, he said. I'm not sure what he means by that. And champagne is on the yes list. Fish. He wants you to eat fish, but, of course, you have to take in consideration the mercury toxicity and make sure you get good sources of fish. Whitefish, freshwater bass, Alaskan halibut, canned tuna, Alaskan salmon. So I got myself some canned tuna for when I'm in a pinch, although I've been kind of following the vegan vegetarian phase 1 mostly. Oysters, mussels, sardines, crab, lobster, scallops, fruits. He wants you to avoid fruits unless they're in season. He said treat fruits like candy. They will make you gain weight, because we're talking about an ancestral link here. How did our ancestors eat? And they ate fruit in the summer when it was in season so they could fatten up for the winter. So if you want to fatten up, eat fruit. If you want to fatten up, eat a lot of nuts. If you don't, just eat a little. Avocados, he says, are okay, but he wants you to have like one a day. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, cherries, all sorts of fruit, apples, citrus, they're all on here, but like I said, in moderation. Dates are probably one of his favorite things. They're in a few of the recipes. I made Brussels sprouts with a little bit of dates and a balsamic reduction. That was one of my favorite new recipes. Vegetables is what he wants you to eat the most of, but be careful to steer clear of the lectin offenders. The vegetables that are on the yes list: broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. He especially likes anything in the cabbage family. Bok choy, Napa cabbage, Swiss chard, arugula, watercress, collards, all sorts of lettuce. Other vegetables like celery, onions, leeks, chives, scallions, carrots, but he wants you to eat those raw. Carrot greens, artichokes, beets, radishes, Jerusalem artichokes, cilantro, okra, asparagus, garlic, and mushrooms. Leafy greens of all sorts, of course, is on the list. Romaine, red and green leaf, mesclun, spinach, endive, dandelion greens, butter lettuce, escarole, mustard greens, parsley, basil, mint. He likes mint. It's detoxing. In moderation, he also wants you to eat resistant starches, because these we don't break down and eat as sugar, but your gut bugs do. So green plantains and green bananas. I'm having a hard time with that one. I'm like, how green, and how do I eat these so green? Cassava, sweet potatoes and yams. Love that's on the list. Rutabaga, parsnips, yucca, celery root, jicama, turnips, millet. Sorghum and millet are both grains that are on the yes list. They don't have lectins. He wants you to be careful with meat. Like I said, he prefers vegan and vegetarianism, but he does think that a little bit of meat is fine, but, grass-fed and finished beef on rare occasions, and he really only wants you to eat like 4 ounces a day. Chicken and turkey and all that stuff is on the yes list, but he really wants it to be pasture-raised. Hard to find. I think I found some at my local organic market. So meat, as far as 4 ounces a day, 100% grass-fed, bison, wild game, venison, boar, beef, prosciutto. If you're vegan or vegetarian, if you're eating some kind of plant-based meats, like he suggests corn products, which is Quorn. They have chicken tenders and ground chicken cutlets and stuff like that. Hemp tofu is okay, things like that. Tempeh, that's grain-free. I'll put these lists up on the screen for you to check out, but I also have them linked to my website, LoveHealth.us. It's under the 365 healthy selfies. I've done quite a few based on the plant paradox since I've been reading the book and trying to start changing my diet to eat this way. And I think it's really helping me so far. I feel pretty good. I've been, like I said, phase 2ing it for a while, but phase 1 has just been for a week or so, and I'm just starting to make these videos to try and chart my progress and help people along. I just wanted to mention Dr. Briner, my holistic dentist in Fairfield, Connecticut at Whole Body Dentistry, because he recommended this book to me and he wrote his own book. In his own book, he quotes some research from a doctor that over 40 years realized that 80% of medical problems and diseases start in the mouth. So it's very important if you've had any root canals, implants, or silver fillings that you might want to start there. So to get more information about this, subscribe to my channel and I'll keep making videos for you. But also there's a great video interview of Dr. Mercola and Dr. Gundry. You can just look that up on Dr. Mercola's website. And also it's linked to my website under the 365 Healthy Selfies. So live it up. It's later than you think. Love you, mean it. Thanks.